Namo Aditafa. Thanks so much for joining me for our daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This wonderful sound calls us back to our true home. The fourth mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful speech and the inability to listen to others, I vow to cultivate loving speech and deep listening in order to bring joy and happiness to others and to relieve others of their suffering. Knowing that words can create happiness or suffering, I'm determined to speak truthfully with words that inspire self-confidence, joy, and hope. I will not spread news I do not know to be certain and will not criticize or condemn things of which I am not sure. I will refrain from uttering words that can cause division or discord, or that can cause the family or the community to break. I'm determined to make all efforts to reconcile and resolve all conflicts, however small. For our Dharma lesson, we've been reading More Than Mindfulness, Widening the Field of Practice by the Monastics of the Thai Forest Sangha. We're continuing in a talk by Ajahn Pasano called Being the One Who Knows. We have this opportunity to enter into that perspective. We can stand on the Dhamma. There is a word, Dhamma titatata, which usually means the sense of natural or enduring. Tita literally means to stand. So it's standing on the Dhamma, but it's also referring to the orderliness of the Dhamma, the orderliness of truth. When we stand on, this is the way things are, this is what the experience is right now. Does it have to overwhelm me? Does it have to define me? If we stay with the one who knows, it changes, and there is a refuge that can be entered. It's the same with our desires, with transforming the desire energy. Desire and fear are so fundamental to the human condition, that sense of facing fears and transforming desires. That desire energy is transformed into peace, into loving kindness, into a sense of clarity and understanding. It rises up out of these refuges, that sense of being able to give oneself to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. When I first started meditating and practicing, there wasn't that much information available. Some of what was available were translations that could be fairly stodgy. They were translations of classical texts, but one of the things that was really striking was that the meditation instruction always started with clarifying the refuges, by bringing the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha to mind, bringing the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha to the process of the meditation. At that point in time, I wasn't looking for a religion. That's how you think of the refuges, but it didn't really sink in until much later, and it wasn't days later, it was probably years later. That clarification of the refuges is important because it really shifts the way that we hold the practice. The primacy of the self, the individual, the me, is part of and parcel of the human condition, but it's very much integral to a Western culture. But when it's me meditating to get my goals achieved, it gets very frustrating. When we broaden that context, we move to a sense of embodying a principle, embodying a refuge, and embodying a liberating perspective. The Buddha seeing the Dhamma. That shifts how it is held. It shifts the approach. It shifts what we experience, and that shift is so conducive to the goal of freedom from suffering. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be at peace. Namo Adida Phat. Thanks so much for joining me today.